My name is Antonio.
My name is Jose Guevara.
My name is Emily Martinez.
My arrival in the U.S. was I arrived here at 10 years of age.
Came to the United States when I was 2 years old.
I arrived this time around to the United States in 2009.
I was really upset about immigration and the fight and everything, but I think a lot of the times as undocumented individuals we put a lot of effort into this fight, and it's a good fight, but it can be dwelling on your soul and on your personal life.
I know that for a future you need to have a college education, so for a great future, so that's the reason I came back to school. But at the same time, like, there was a conflict inside of me being undocumented, whether or not I fit in or the negative words are like they get to me sometimes.
We came from a poor income family, but when my father left, we went into a very economic difficulty as a family. And since my mother, when we were children, she raised us, so she became a housewife. She gave up her career for us, so when the time came when our father left, she had no way to support us in any way.
I have no problem with the paperwork, and I have no problem with doing paperwork. I think it's a part of life. I think it's something that everybody goes through. I have a problem with the way paperwork is handled. I have a problem with how long it takes things to get done. I have a problem with the system placed in the CSU, why especially in Costa del LA, where things get misplaced and students later have to pay their price and be like, well, we can't find it, so your financial aid is on hold, or, well, I know we turned it in, but I don't know.
I asked for guidance in the office, and they told me that they couldn't legally tell me what to fill out. They told me they couldn't do anything about it, that I had to fill it out on my own. And because they didn't have any guidance, I filled it out wrong. I had to go back and actually refill it out with the help of the DreamAct Center.
I'm glad that those laws have been passed, because without that, many students, undocumented students, would not be in school. For me, it's just help. It's just support. Like knowing that it's also at the same time kind of like I don't know, kind of like identifying you. Like they're speaking about you, like undocumented students. They're talking about you, like.
The hardest part still is the uncertainty. I'm scared.
The hardest part, I think I've been very blessed. I'm actually a Glacier Scholar, so my education is paid for whether there's funding in the state or not. So someone else pays my education for 5 years. So I think that has been a really good help. And I try to go to law school, or whether that help's gonna, whether I'm gonna be able to afford like the excessive amount law school is. And I think that's something that's throughout the borderline.
My education is the only thing I've ever had. It's the only thing I ever really wanted. Even through everything that went through when I was a child, I used education as an anchor. It's the only thing that's ever been constant in my life, and now it's not anymore.
At first, I thought I could never do it because I couldn't afford it or whatever. But now through other laws, like the Cal Grant, was just passed. We can apply for the Cal Grants now. So.
Aunque tengo mi pecho de acero.
My past. When you are in a situation in which you care about something so much and you're reserved from it, or you've had to experience a time period in which you didn't have it, you learn to appreciate it so very much. And if it wasn't because of my past, I wouldn't have fallen in love with my education.
My mother, my parents, the students, I get inspired, but mainly my parents. And a lot of people have asked me, like, oh, do your parents expect you to be someone this big? I guess trying to meet my parents' expectations. Really, like, my quote is making every single day of their life count, because they didn't just cross the border for fun, right? They crossed the border and they went through stuff that I didn't.
I think the drive is because I really feel at home in school. I think throughout my hardships, school has kept me grounded and like wanting to come back to it. When I was coming out and having troubles with my parents, school was my safe haven. Then when I was fighting cancer, school was kind of like my goal to get out of there.
I would have asked more questions. And I would have learned to know the difference between someone that doesn't care and someone who does. Because you have to meet the right people, unless they'll guide you in the wrong direction.
I would have just been more open with whom I am, and it probably would have saved me a lot of uncomfortable situations.
Since I can remember, it's always been my dream. I've always wanted to graduate college.
I was like in 6th grade. I just, like I told you, I love school as much as the hardships come with it. I don't think I could see myself like.
I just saw my friends that they weren't going in that many places. A lot of my friends are also undocumented, or a handful of my friends are undocumented. But some of them are still struggling to go to school because of trying to pay for it, and like even trying to find a job to pay for school. But it's like, for me it was, why do I have to work extra harder for somebody to have to work a full-time job to pay for school or stuff? Like, I don't think that's fair. I think you know, for me to go to school, I think it should be like a well-balanced field, you know, where I don't have to work so hard.
There was this one girl in my class. I don't remember her name precisely, but she was like most people that I knew at that time. She applied for FAFSA and she got a full ride for the full year. Her first year was going to be completely covered. And she chose to go to a community college instead of a UC.
I mean, first of all, is applying for jobs like internships and things like that, scholarships too. There's many scholarships that require citizenship or, you know, getting a good job. Like most places will have a background check. You know, applying to health insurance and stuff like that. Like there is some places where we can get health insurance being undocumented, but that's only coming out recently. So, you know, there's still some people that don't know about that.
Que te digan que yo ya no existo.
Sí se puede. Yes, you can. If you feel there isn't any resources, there's plenty.
To not take anything for granted. Because there's certain advantages that some students have, and they don't take advantage of it. They don't realize that what they have is something that most people don't.
When I came in here, Luz told me something. She said, you need to hear no 3 times. So if someone tells you no, you need to hear it 3 times. So like if your financial aid counselor or your college person has told you like you can't go to college, you need to hear it 3 times from someone else. So just like keep on pushing on. And even if you hear it 3 times, you still need to go back. So I think it's just not being afraid to question people of power. I think that's something that I have. Like, do your own research. Like professors lie to you, counselors lie to you. Heck, your parents lie to you sometimes. So just always seek the truth to your best of your knowledge.
It's important for us to go to school because, you know, we have more opportunities from a different perspective to give back to the community. Like
They'd like to say, ya volaron, you know, like get the butterfly, ya volaron, and they can fly too. The students, the high school students, ya tienen alas. They have alas. They just have to be aware that they can fly. The resources the wings have been given to them. They just need to understand that they can fly too.
Yo no sé si tu ausencia me mate, aunque tengo mi pecho de acero, pero nadie me diga cobarde sin saber hasta dónde